Hello and welcome to the One People Show.
Hello and welcome everyone to this week's One People Roundtable, which means more to me today than probably ever. And oh my God, there's stuff going on. Okay, you and I haven't had a chance to go over what we want to go over today, or what we bring to the table, but I'll let you go first.
Time all gone fucked up. That will go. Time is completely. We'll get into that in depth because time is seriously fucked up. And loops, like time loops, holy crap this week. Holy crap. And let's see, weird dreams and energetic waves are coming in.
Well, I may have an explanation for that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, politically, I'm pretty much ignoring everything. I said the two things that basically the Russian ambassador to Turkey just got assassinated today, and apparently a lorry driver in Berlin just drove through a Christmas market and killed a bunch of people. That's just what I happened to catch as it flew by that Nikki just yelled at me as in passing.
Did these things look like they actually happened?
Oh, I haven't even looked at them yet. I have not looked. The one with the Russian ambassador Turkey being assassinated, I was like, oh, like I said earlier, who's sending a message to who with that one? Because that's interesting.
Looks like people in the chat room have looked at it. No blood in regards to the assassination. Looked fake. No blood in Turkey. No blood in
No blood in Germany. Well, they got to make that big fake, get the fear up. Fear porn, everyone. Fear porn. Hold on.
The shooter in Turkey was a policeman?
Like I said, I have read nothing. I've been offline since noon. When I chatted with you for 2 seconds on Zoom this afternoon, whenever that was, I haven't even sat down at my computer again until 15 minutes ago. So.
Okay.
Should we start up with the conversation about time?
Yeah, well, apparently I left mine in my other pocket.
You left your time in your other pocket?
I left time in general somewhere because... Okay.
Well, if you find your time, can you see if my time is with your time? And if so, can you tell my time to please come home?
I don't think I know how to explain the way people are experiencing time, but okay. I have posted this in the UU room and I have posted it in LMH members. So I'm just going to tell my story. That's what I do. I tell my story, and then if anything resonates with you guys, then awesome.
I just sit here and smoke while she chats.
Yeah. What day is it? So Saturday morning. Is it Saturday? I think it was Saturday. See, time.
Yeah, recently before.
Yeah. I woke up and before I moved, my first conscious thought was, wow, that was a really big, intense night of dreams and stuff. I forgot.
Yeah, you should start with your day sideways where you couldn't stand up straight.
That is the day.
Oh, that was that day? That was Friday then, or my Friday.
Yeah, I think it was Saturday for me.
Yeah.
So, and as I didn't even get to, I just sort of moved, just went to roll over a little bit, and the world just went like a roulette wheel. And if you've ever had far too much to drink and then you go to lay down in bed and the world just goes whoosh, a whoosh, a whoosh, and you start to think, oh, shit, I regret that now. That kind of spinning. It was that intense. And I couldn't hold on to anything. I tried to get up and walk, and I just went straight. I just headed straight for a wall, went sideways. Managed to get out of the hallway, only to find Barbara doing exactly the same thing. She'd been up for hours, and she's walking sideways. The two of us in the house was hysterical, just sort of running into each other. You're muted.
I wish I'd been there to see it, because the two of them describing it was quite a giggle.
It was quite a giggle. I get on my computer and I've got a message from someone I don't know. Should I read that out? I should read that out because it's the only way it's going to make sense. Okay. Just got to find it. Hang on, I'll take a second. Okay. It says, let me just move everything around so I can still see everything. It says, okay, get ready to be weirded the fuck out, because I honestly was and still am confused to what's going on. He said, so at 7:30 p.m. tonight, now, he sent me this on the 15th, which was Thursday night. And for those who don't already know, Thursday night was a big night of conversation in connection with Lulu, Oliver and crew from home base. First one in a long time. Okay. So while that was happening, he's having this experience. But I didn't see the message until Saturday morning when I woke up, like this. So at 7:30 p.m. tonight, I went and laid down to go to sleep, except it didn't feel like I went to sleep. Instead, I jumped forward by 15 days to the 30th of December. At this point, I was told by someone that I had never met before that Lisa M. Harrison would explain everything. I've never heard or seen your name and never looked into anything that you cover on your webpage. Now, this is super weird because I watched one video in particular which came up on the top Google search for your name at the time, which covered a time shift where everyone was thinking it was 2017. So I know that he's talking about a show that we did in January of 2015 where myself and Dee and Lily Earth and a few others just went, something just happened because it's 2017 right now. I know the show he's talking about. Now, at this point, it gets really weird. So go ahead 15 days, get told that you would explain everything, except you have somehow become aware of time loops and how to move between them. You then show me and others how to move through these time loops. The group minus you start shifting through the time loops together. I made a decision to send someone back through to a previous date in the time loop, and we were in and reset it. This happens quite a few times over nearly 2 years, real time, except we don't go past June 26, 2017, ever. At some point, one of us stuffed up somewhere and we started shortening the time between the loops, between the loop resets. And on June 27th, 2017, I get stuck in a 1-minute loop at 5:23 p.m. Someone comes into the loop and I tell them they need to go back and reset the loop to before anything ever happens. At this point, I jump up out of my bed, grab my phone and look at the time, and it's 7:32 p.m. Thursday the 15th, 2016, 2 minutes after the original 15-day jump. After what felt like more than 2 years. So that's kind of trippy. That happens. And then I'm sitting in the living room trying to hold myself in the living room still. My daughter's in the bedroom. Lilu comes through on my daughter's computer and says, Fee, where's Mum? And Phoenix says, well, she's here. And she comes out to me and she says, Lilu's in my computer looking for you. So I asked her to bring the computer out. I put my daughter's computer on in my lap in front of me, and I've got my computer. And I said, Lilo, I'm here. My computer is here. Kinda. Because I am like, everything is spinning. And she could not find me, she said. She said, I can't. And she was panicking. She said, I can't find you. I don't know. And I said, well, try and find me because I don't know where I am either. She sporadically kind of came through on my computer, but I was talking to her through my daughters, and I shared that message with her. I said, something is really, I don't know what's going on. What she eventually found, which took a while, was that the current timeline, and there was more things that came in to confirm this, people's experiences. There was somebody else posted a message in the UU room about the dream that they just had that night. Then your mic is not clear.
Saying, yeah, the one that was posted in the UU room by Chris, as you were telling me about the message you'd just been sent, I'm like, well, then you better go read Chris's dream from last night, because it's right smack the same thing.
So apparently what happened was that somebody had tried to split the current timeline, fracture it. And I was getting fractured in the process. I was kind of getting pulled into two directions. And that's exactly how I felt, like I was in a vortex getting pulled two ways. Lulu was quite concerned about this. It took her hours to sort of piece together what had happened and start correcting it. It took about 3 hours probably for me to start to feel normal again, and like I was here, and it took quite a bit of work on my part trying to just ground and be in one place. So that was interesting. And since then, what's it, that post, how many comments has that post got in the UU room? Have you had a look?
Last time I looked, it had over 200. And that was only 200 base comments. That doesn't include the sub comments that would come in underneath it. There was probably well over 400 comments on that. Of
people sharing their experiences, over 800.
Oh, there you go. So
but then it went
back to 200. And then Catherine said more like 900. Yeah, like it's been, that conversation has just been like, because everyone's getting triggered by it. And they're going, oh my God, let me tell you what happened to me. Like people experiencing time loops in their day where an event happens and then, you know, they get like 15 minutes later and then it repeats and the exact same event repeats again. And they're like, wait a second, I already just did this exact same thing.
We've had people talking about reliving the same day over again, but the whole day. I've seen going to appointments that they know they've already gone to.
What's his name? The Australian guy who does the Mandela effect type stuff is Bluebeard. He had one of those days where
he did Thursday twice.
He did Thursday completely twice, like not just you know, like a 15 minutes times or a small piece of, he actually did all of Thursday twice, but at least the second time he made his dentist appointment.
A sense of deja vu where it's not like, oh, this happened before, but I know what's going to happen next now, because
as in you've just done it.
Yeah. Whether people feel like time has just flown by or it's somehow stretched out and it's going super slow. Claire put a really good analogy in that comment thread about train tracks.
I read it.
Sorry?
What did she say? I don't think I read that one. What did she say?
Yeah, trying to find it would be amazing.
Oh God, yeah. Okay, just give us the short form of it.
Well, use this analogy of train tracks. Because we got a lot of, you know, talented, powerful people in that room who have some serious gifts. And Claire's one of them. And what she saw was like a train track representing the timeline that we're on. And so someone keeps trying to build a train track off that and split otherwise.
Like when they throw the switch and it curves the around to the side, yeah.
But they're all, no matter what, she can see the end point, the 0 point destination, and they just keep curving back in and going to the same spot. So some of them are slower, they're a longer route. Some are more direct, but they're all going to the same place. And what it honestly feels like is some of us, we're getting pulled or shifting to these different little timelines as they're getting created and fractured and whatever, but it doesn't matter because we keep coming back to the same point. We keep coming back to the same point. And I understand how crazy this conversation is. Oh, I'm sorry. Thank you. What came out of Lulu's investigations on Saturday was that the proverbial they are absolutely panicking at this point. That these are attempts, but it's like there's a term. Pilots and air hostesses will know the term. I can't remember, but it's like a point of no return when a plane's going down the runway. There's a point where it has to take off once it reaches a certain speed and everything. I can't remember what the term is, but it's kind of funny. We're there.
Terminal velocity?
No, they've got a slang term for it.
The point of no return. It's like you take off. That's it.
Yeah. And everything that's come in is sort of supporting, confirming that we're there, we've passed that point. That nothing is going to stop the process.
Jerry just said it's the shit or get off the pot point.
Yeah. Okay, so the other thing, oh God, there's so much. But anyway, last night was interesting, okay? At around the same time that this was happening, some of you have probably seen these videos.
Have you got the one from Dutch Sense?
Yep.
As it's going across the whole planet. Both sides of the planet are being hit at the same time, letting you know it's affecting the whole planet.
See this?
And the amount of energy on this. I mean, I want you to think about this. A wave of energy that's returning on the 35 gigahertz microwave background imagery. Ultra high frequency. Beyond ultra high frequency. And it's showing up across the whole planet all at once. The amount of energies.
Okay. There's already been, I don't know how many videos made of this wave that went around the whole planet. But from what I can tell...
And not just an instant wave, like boom, that's it, it's gone. Was ongoing. Like that's one of the things Dutch said. Like when he published that video, it was still happening.
From what I could see at the time that was happening, something rather extraordinary was happening here. Moira came in and said 200 people from home, from where she is. She said, we've got 200 people gathered. We are all using our energy for this. and we are sending energy waves. There will be 11 in total, and they kind of amp up as we go. We only got through the third one. You know, maybe these two things are connected, maybe they're not. I just find it a coincidence. It was coming through my computer. The first thing that happened was every app on my computer opened up. Everything was just, my dock was just bouncing around.
Even apps that she didn't know she had.
Oh. And my computer was translating the frequency into music. I'm going to play a little bit of it. I think I've got it. And I can't tell you which part this is, like whether it's 1, 2, or 3. It might be part 1, but no. This bit only lasts for 1 minute and 28 seconds. So my computer kept crashing through it. It crashed like 5 times in the end.
Your computer may not make it past this minute.
And then my computer crashed again. So it would go from, I don't know, very Steven Spielberg soundtrack-esque to almost Celtic to New Age kind of music, but it all flowed so beautifully. It did take you somewhere, that's for sure. It went on for at least an hour. The wave 3, and there was no break. It would just, the only reason I knew there was a difference was because Moira would pop in and go, wave 2 beginning now, wave 3 beginning now. What they said on Friday night, hang on, what's today? Sunday night, was the wall between our two realities is so thin now. They were here in an energetic way that we could actually feel them touch us. That was, what night was that? That was last Thursday night. And judging from, again, the messages that I'm getting, emails, the stuff that people are posting in the UU room, personal Facebook messages, all of that, Something is happening to a lot of people. Now, this may be the explanation for it. For you, it may not. Okay? I'm just sharing what's going on with me at my end, and if it helps explain what's going on for you, then awesome. This was one of the energy waves. It was a way of opening up a line of communication, like literally kind of creating a portal between the two. Is the easiest way to explain it. I know that a lot of people are feeling a presence around them that is they don't recognise as a a deceased relative from here that they know, or but there is an inner knowing that it's someone that they're connected to. There's that happening. There's people, I've seen stories of people who are saying their vision, they're actually seeing like a whole other reality going on. Technology.
Interesting was that a couple of people talked about it someone brought up in Unfuckers. Remember about a month and a half ago, I talked about seeing the shimmer going across the sky. I was seeing that again this weekend, where you just look out and we've had solid cloud cover storm conditions for 6 days now. The sun broke out today for about, I don't know, on and off, maybe a few minutes here and there, but it's the first time we've seen the sky. It's been solid cloud cover. And every so often the sun would break through and I was seeing like the waves, again, where it looks like a mirage. And there were several people in the Unfuckers room who were seeing the same thing, seeing what looks almost like a heat mirage, except, when it's freezing cold outside, obviously it's not a heat mirage, right?
And someone who's been seeing this for a while is noticing it's getting lower and lower and lower to the ground. Like, so yeah, that's what's going on in my world. Yeah, what's going on in yours?
I don't know. I'm telling you, it has been, I woke up Friday morning with that whole feeling again where I said, I think, was it Friday morning? I think I sent you the message my Friday morning saying, oh, what just happened? Because the very first thought I had when my eyes opened in the morning was like laying in bed before you even move, and it was that disorientation. Almost like when you go and you stay at someone else's house, or you're at a hotel and you have that momentary disorientation where like you don't know where you are, like your bed's not facing the right direction, you're in the wrong room. And I had that, but it was like on a much bigger scale. It was like, what planet am I on? What timeline am I in? And the first thing I did was get up and send Lisa a message saying, like, my windstorm is still going. What happened? Like, did the whole earth flip over again or something? Because that was it. And it was all day I kept doing that, walking around going, I feel surreal. It feels surreal. Everything around me felt not quite real. It just was like kind of walking around, almost like you were walking around in a movie. That's kind of what it felt like.
To answer Lee's question, yes, Barb is in the other room. And from literally within half an hour of her walking in the door last Tuesday, things just got amped up around here. Incredibly. You keep freezing just for
And on my side, you're the one freezing, so I blame you. So there.
Which one of us is freezing, guys? Because if it's my internet, I'll make sure it's.
We're both freezing.
Both.
Both. There you go. This is both. Neither.
I've never seen you twist. Oh no! What am I doing? I'm doing this. What's with that?
Are you twiddling with your hair? Both. There you go. So it. Okay. Explain to me how we can just get the responses, because I'm watching on my screen. I'm seeing you freeze, and you've been freezing a lot, and obviously you're seeing me freezing, and half the room is saying both of us. A whole bunch of us are saying neither of us. And then some are saying it's D who's freezing, and then it's Lisa who's freezing. So you're fading again.
You're all on different timelines.
Apparently. It'll be interesting to see
Canada.
like. You post your video, I'll post my video, and everyone will have to sync them up and watch them simultaneously so they can get, the full. How could that be? That doesn't make, I'm sorry?
I don't know.
What we're seeing right here and now with the responses from everyone doesn't make sense.
No.
It doesn't make sense because either my internet's glitching and I'm freezing, or Lisa's is, or both of us, but you can't get different answers from everyone in the chat room because if the internet's freezing, the internet's freezing. That's just weird. I don't know. Users bandwidth, maybe. You could be right. I don't know. Yes, strange things are afoot at the Circle K. That's all I have to say about this last week, pretty much.
Okay. Brain freeze. Mind wipe, whatever you want to call it. I was about to say something.
Okay, so what's interesting that I went through, because anytime anyone posts anything about, in the Unfuckers room to do with like earthquakes, to do with, oh, that's a little one that I don't know if you saw. So someone posted in the Unfuckers room that 2 volcanoes in the South Sandwich Islands had just blown their tops. Well done, Quinlan. Don't break things. Seriously. Quinlan's swinging poi and flying them across the room at the moment. So I was like, oh, better go check. So I do the old, go to the EMSC, look at the 5 magnitude and higher, which for the last 2 days has been skyrocketing. We're again in this massive amount of earthquakes that are 5.0 and bigger. Then I go look up, of course, and I know the South Sandwich Islands. I know relatively where they are, but I wasn't sure if I remembered exactly the positioning. Like, were they between South America and Africa, or were they between South America and Australia? So I go to look them up. So you pull up Google Earth, type in South Sandwich Islands, and it immediately takes me there with, you get the little pin dot where they put the marker on your map, except nothing's there. There's nothing there. There's no island there. I zoom it in as close as you can absolutely make it zoom in. There's nothing there. So I go to the satellite feed, like switch it over to satellite, and I'm looking. There's nothing there. So Google Earth recognizes that there's these islands, the South Sandwich Islands, but there's nothing showing on the map. Apparently they don't exist on the Google Maps, even though they put me right, pinpointed where they supposedly were. 2 volcanoes go off. Now, these are unpopulated islands by humans, but they're both penguin sanctuaries. Both these islands are massive population of penguins. The macaroni penguins, and I can't remember the other one, the chinstrap penguins. So I find an article saying that one of the volcanoes had gone off in July. They'd noticed it on the Google satellite, the big plume of ash that went off. And there was this big thing, oh, we're so worried about, because all the penguins will be there right now, because it's the migration time, they'll all be there. This could be really dangerous, but we won't know what happened until there's a research vessel going and a research team going to be there, in the middle of December 2016, which is right now. Except there's just been 2 volcanoes gone off. And apparently the last time that one of them erupted was like 1819. So I was kind of like, okay, volcanoes on islands that may or may not exist according to Google Maps, and what the fuck is going on? It was just really, really strange.
I'm looking for the post.
Can you see the islands? Hold on, I'm going to pull up that map one and see if they actually shows the islands, because I took screenshots. Look at there, you can see it this morning. Okay, hold on, South Sandwich Islands.
I'm looking for the one that showed the Antarctic.
I don't know if I've bloody saved it. Damn it. Hold on. My computer crashed. It may have not saved it. Let me see. I'm hoping that my... Do I have it? Yes, I do. Okay, so here we go. Look, guys. Here, I'll show you. I've got to show you this because this is just too friggin' bizarre. So this is the screenshot that I took this morning. Hold on. Give me a quick second. Okay, so let me get rid of that. There's the screenshot I took this morning. South Sandwich Islands. There it is, searched. There's the little dotty thing that Google Maps gives you. Me zoomed in as close as I could. There is on the satellite feed. There's no islands. There's nothing there. Yet someone else just searched, and there purportedly is the island. So just my Google doesn't have it, or am I like on a different timeline? In my timeline, these islands blew themselves up. I don't know. I know nothing. That's all I know. But yeah, so anyways, I looked. CERN is still, the LHC is not firing, but Awake is still going. And I unfortunately do not know how to read the graphs on the Awake stuff yet. I haven't had the time to research it and figure it out. The Schumann index shows that everything's calm today. There is no geomagnetic storms. There's been no geomagnetic storms for days. This huge wave that reportedly the Dutch Since, the video that you showed, what Dutch Since did, BP Earthwatch put one out as well. He took a look at all of the magnetopause, et cetera, et cetera. Yeah, there's a coronal hole, but we've seen bigger coronal holes. It's not that big a coronal hole. So, and like even BP Earthwatch said, it does not look like it's solar related. So it's not solar related. The Schumann index, the Schumann resonance is pretty fucking calm. So, I don't know.
Sorry, I'm looking for something because I want to make a comparison. And I cannot find it.
What are you trying to find?
I think I'm getting close. It was a screenshot that somebody took.
Give me a quick second.
Oh, it's the North Pole. Okay, it was Blair. Whoa. Ah! Okay, Google Earth, what are you doing? Share screen. North Pole. Oh, now it's taking me somewhere else.
Yeah.
That's the North Pole? I don't think so.
Let's see. Yeah, that's not the North Pole. Where the fuck is that? Okay, zoom out so we can figure out where they're saying the North Pole was. That said North Pole AK as in Arkansas, I guess. Oh, AK, Alaska, sorry.
What?
What?
That's where it's saying the North Pole is.
No. No.
Okay. There's nothing there.
Well, there's been nothing there for a while now.
Is that supposed
That's supposed to be Greenland. That's Greenland up there, the big white blob.
Because this is the pictures. Is this a comparison? No, it's not. It's there.
Lisa, that second picture is skewed. If you look at it,
Yeah.
Greenland is up to the upper left corner.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What you're seeing, that big blue blob, is the Pacific Ocean.
I don't know. It's funky.
I have a running theory. Is the fact of, like, you know, we've done all these talk about the Toto effects, Mandela effects, to do with things like changes of coastline changing. You know, South America is all of a sudden way the fuck over here. Like, I mean, seriously, way the fuck over here. It's like we're trying to make out with Africa now. And, you know, Greenland is all of a sudden now like the size of fucking Canada. It's so freaking huge. You know, Siberia magically appearing over 2/3 of fucking Russia. I'm sorry, but when I was a kid, the North Pole had land under it. Did it not? Do you not remember as a kid, like the North Pole, there was substance there? And I'm not talking about just ice. And they're saying, oh, well, the glaciers have melted. So now it's just open water. No, I mean, like, there was shit up there. And now it's just open water.
But it's pretty mixed in the chat room. Some of it was always just ice. For others like us, there was land there.
No, permafrost over land. Now, I grew up in way, way northern Manitoba. When I was a little girl, I lived in a little tiny town called Thompson, Manitoba, where it was regularly 40 degrees Celsius below zero in the winter. And life was Arctic at that point. Like, you had 2 months of summer and the rest was fucking winter. And
why do people live there?
It was a mining town. We moved up there because my dad was offered a really, really good paying job in the mines. That's why. And when the nickel mines closed down, apparently Thompson is basically a ghost town now. I did not live in igloos. Norm, I resemble that remark. Stop it. But a little unknown fact, Thompson, Manitoba, it's illegal to wear white in the winter. Because they might mistake you for a polar bear and shoot you. I shit you not. And that law is still on the books in Thompson, Manitoba, and it is illegal. They're not even allowed to sell white parkas in Thompson, Manitoba. Yeah, they had a polar bear problem in the garbage dump. But anyway, sorry, I digress. The Arctic was there, and we knew people because it was kind of, Thompson was one of your main jump-off points when people were going into, for example, flying up from Winnipeg. They would fly into Thompson, and then they would go up into the Arctic. And so, I mean, we met lots of people, and we had Inuit who lived in our neighborhood, people who were actual in the reservations who would in the summertime go up into the Arctic, right? And they only came down to Thompson when it was like, you know, dead of winter type thing. There was land there. I swear there was land there. I swear there was. I don't understand. Rudolph the pink-nosed dolphin. Come on, Donna. Stop that. You're just being ridiculous now. Seriously. Although, having said that, I've just discovered some seriously new creepy insects in Australia that I'd never heard about when I was there. And one of them freaked me the fuck out.
Like what?
A branch hugger spider.
I haven't heard of that either.
Okay, and you're Aussie. So, yeah, it was a showed a branch, and there was a spider wrapped around the branch, and it flattens itself, and it looked just like the fucking branch.
How big
And
is
I
it?
was just like, it looked like it wasn't quite huntsman size, but let's just say it wasn't teeny, like tarantula kind of size, you know, and it had that kind and I was just like, Oh my God! Why the fuck were we in Australia
Have you heard
again?
of that before?
A
A branch hugger?
branch hugger spider.
That sounds like a
And
drop bear spider.
the mantis
Sounds like a drop
wasp.
bear. Maybe.
No, I'm telling. There's been about 4 or 5 new things that I've seen in the last couple of weeks, even about Australia, that I'm just like, I ain't never seen one of those. I ain't never heard one of those.
Chris just called it. It's the tree hugger. It's a new age spider.
It's a new age spider, Chris. Nice one. It's a tree hugger spider.
No, I've never heard of it.
Yeah, but
Oh no, you're in Australia. Have you ever heard of it?
hold on. I'm gonna fucking find a picture because I have to.
Tree hugger spider. Oh, there's a link in the chat.
Hold on, I'm trying to pull it up now. All I know is it was frickin'
No, I've never seen that, and I've never heard it. I've got it up on here.
You've got it up?
This one?
Yeah, that would be it. The picture I saw was like even scarier looking though, because it had like little mandibles type things wrapped around the branch and shit. Yeah, never seen it before. And
Never seen that before.
there is like all kinds of little animals and shit that is appearing that I'm like, I ain't never seen this
before. Tree hugging spider, Australia.
Yeah, the mantis wasp. What the fuck is a mantis wasp?
Okay, thanks.
I've got the Daily Mail news article on that spider up if you want to see the picture from there.
There's no fucking way this creature exists. No fucking way. No fucking way. You cannot tell me. What?
Thank you. You too.
Hang on, who's unmuted?
No, that's got to be Photoshop. I'm sorry. It has to be Photoshop.
What are you looking at now?
It's a mantid fly, and it looks like a praying mantis and a wasp had illegitimate children. And this was another one of the ones that came up last week. And I'm like, no. There it is. Yeah, the Daily Mail. Hold on.
Share screen so I can see what you're doing.
Hold on. I'm just trying to. Hold on. I'm just trying to pull up the article. Probably be the best way to do it.
Well, whatever timeline these things came from, they can go back to, because
Yeah, they can just fucking. Okay, here. Hold on. Here we go. It can just go back to its own fucking timeline. It's like a praying mantis, which I love praying mantises. I really do. I absolutely adore them. When we were in the Congo, we had massive ones, and they're really cool.
Okay, has anyone heard
this thing? Okay.
heard it before?
Does not exist in my world. This praying mantis with a wasp, and it literally looks like they took the front half of a praying mantis and stuck it on the back half of a wasp and just kind of fucking crazy glued them together.
No one's heard of this thing before. It's a Pokemon.
No, don't want it.
Does it fly?
It's
Is that Donna? That's a yes.
mantid fly. They're calling it a mantid fly. But yeah.
That's a
I'm
yes.
sorry?
It flies, or is that a yes to you've heard of them before?
I ain't never heard before.
Okay. No, never heard of it, but yes, it flies. No, either have I. Okay,
These are just great big nopes. They're just nopes.
they're what?
They're nopes. Nope.
Nope. Okay, we merged with some funky timeline where all these animals exist. Man, no, I do not consent. That's all I got.
Blue fucking tigers and pink freaking dolphins, and
Yes, no, they were dolphins. They were pink dolphins. I'm told. Sorry, in my reality.
You could be totally right. I mean, I have people trying to send me pictures of naked mole rats. Go, what are these? I'm like, no, they've been around for fucking ever. Anyone who watched Kim Possible knows what a naked mole rat is, right? Sorry.
Yeah, and I saw pink dolphins in Thailand in 2011.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Freakish shit out there.
I mean, Australia does have some bizarre insects. I'll give you that. But that thing, no.
Yeah.
Or that tree-hugging spider thing, no. Unless, I mean, did it say anything about where they originate from? Where they're indigenous to?
I didn't really go into it. I'll go look maybe after the show. Yeah, the other thing I saw was a flying lizard. Now I've seen the lizards that have got, they're like a glider, right? And they've got like a membrane that stretches from their front legs down their body. This one that I showed Nick a picture of it, and we all both went, really? It looks like a butterfly had sex with a lizard. Like the wings were, like it had full-on fucking wings that attached right down its back to its back legs, its front legs, and it was all bright colors. It was like a little dragon.
You got to show me.
I don't. Hold on, I'll see if I can find a picture because it was fucking wild.
But see, we haven't noticed Mandela effects for a while, like stuff like this. I mean, there was all the rainbow stuff showing up. And then that kind of all just dropped off for me anyway. I wasn't really noticing any.
No, this is, that can't be real.
Are we getting a new spate of them? In the form of these animals showing up out of nowhere.
Here we go. Here, I found one of the pictures. So the one I saw had even more colors on it, but here.
Oh, see this barbecue thing?
There's the flying lizard with the butterfly wings.
Oh, no, haven't seen that before either. But that can stay. That's kind of cute.
Yeah, I mean, it's very cool. And this guy here, very cool, very interesting. At least it's not a horrific, I mean, some of these are obviously pretend graphics ones. Look at this guy. No, sorry, I have never seen a picture of a flying lizard that looked like this before. I mean, he's cool. He's seriously cool. I want one. But, yeah, no. Yeah, no, I never seen that. And, okay, I'm going to talk about the other thing is the spate, again, of famous people dying this month.
A famous
Zsa Zsa Gabor died, apparently, again.
I was going to say, hasn't she done that already?
She's already done it once, at least in my timeline. And now the other one was Kirk Douglas turned 100. I'm like, no, he didn't. He's dead. And been dead a while.
Oh, well, no, I'd have to disagree on that one. Because I remember Kirk Douglas getting up at one of the, like the Oscars or one of those things. And he was still recovering from a stroke or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And he was very slow and he, wasn't in a good way.
And that was about 2 years ago, right?
That I couldn't tell you, actually.
For me, I can remember him he was in the limelight for some reason, like you say, at an event. And I remember going, but he's dead. And this was before I knew about the Mandela effect. Like, this is before any of that kind of came into my awareness going, no, he died a while ago. Now, and now, you're right. Ava Gabor, I remember when Ava Gabor died, but Zsa Zsa Gabor also.
And David Bowie's back? What?
What? Yeah, I saw that whole thing with David Bowie's back and went, yeah, sorry, not buying that one.
If Dick Clark is at the ball drop.
If Dick Clark is at the ball drop, all shit.
Although Joan Rivers, I did see that Joan Rivers is that. If that's not Joan Rivers, then it's her doppelganger.
Yeah.
The voice, more than anything, was... Okay, so with all the people that we've seen stepping out of the limelight politically, and all the famous people's deaths, I mean, are they faking their own deaths in order to, you know?
Okay, here's the other thing. So a lot of them are really old. You know, a lot of the people who died, like as far as famous TV, and no, Alan Thicke just died this week. And he wasn't that old. He was like 67, 68, something like that. But a lot of the deaths that we've seen, especially in the last 2 weeks, have been people who are really quite old. They're like in their 80s, some of them even in their 90s, right? But I still find it interesting in this time, we're seeing all these massive timeline shifts and these huge waves of energy, a whole bunch of people all of a sudden dying, even if they are very, very old, but you've got to wonder, like, is that almost a choice point? Like they're like, I don't want to go through this again, like on some level.
Okay, so the August-September timeframe, the end of August, beginning of September, there's always something significant that happens, and I believe it's a reset time. We've also got that funky week between Christmas and New Year period. I think is another, let's assess the timeline again and make sure this is the one we want to lock in kind of thing. So do we see a lot of deaths at around the same time as well, that August-September time frame, and then that lead up to Christmas? Because there might be something there in terms of, yeah, I'm stepping out of the next reset.
I don't know. I mean, that's...
I'd have to go back and have a look at that website that we pulled up last week and see what August-September looked like. You know, was there...
yeah, I didn't go back. I went back. I just looked at December and I looked at November. But, I mean, there are days. It was like December 14th or 15th. There was a list on Wikipedia of deaths that was like 30 people long on that day alone.
On that day alone?
On that day alone. It was like you scroll through it going, holy shit. So, I mean, I didn't look any farther than just because I was on the fly, right? I was supposed to do my homework before the show, and I chose to play Lego instead. I'm sorry. But I built a cool spaceship.
You going to come get me?
We're going to have to get an expanding ray, like not a shrink ray, the opposite. Although Kale says to me the other night, Kale's not well, so he's sick. And he's getting into bed last night, and so he's doing that kind of, you know, with little ones when they're kind of sick and they're kind of a little bit dopey. He's like, Mommy, tomorrow we build some Lego. I was like, yes, baby. He goes, I'm going to build you a spaceship. I was like, one I can ride in? He was like, no, don't be silly. It would hurt your butt if you had to sit in a Lego spaceship. So he's not building me a full-size one, unfortunately.
So I actually would love to hear from anybody in the chat room who wants to come out and share any... If you've got any stories about your experiences over the last week that kind of sync in with what we're talking about here, I'd love to hear it, because I am hearing it, like I said, in the UU room. I'm hearing it in correspondence. But if anybody wants to come out and share it, that'd be cool. So that I'm not standing here looking like the only one who's having serious shit get out.
And serious mood swings, too, let me tell you.
Mood swings, did you say?
Oh, yeah. I've had some spectacular mood swings this weekend. I locked myself in my room Saturday. I did. I locked myself in my room for 4 hours and did hand sewing.
Oh, what's this OA?
Yeah. So someone's screen sharing. This is not what we need. Are you taking it over, Lise?
Trying to.
Why won't it let me?
It won't let me either.
Hold on, give me a second.
There we go.
Okay, because I'm like, my Zoom has just gone completely freaky deaky all of a sudden. Again.
You asked about the OA?
Yeah. So what is the OA?
I just finished watching the I think 8 episodes that are out now, first season, and I don't want to give any spoilers because it is phenomenal, but it'll blow your mind.
What's the premise, at least?
Well, on a very 3D level, life after death. On a level that we're used to, pretty much exactly what we've been talking about for the last 5 years.
So I know what I'm going to be watching when I finish catching up on Arrow. There we go.
Somebody has been listening to all our conversations, and they wrote a hell of a script. It's really good. Watch it if you can.
Okay. So OA, someone said it's on Netflix?
Yeah.
It's on Netflix.
It's a Netflix original, and there's 8 episodes out.
Okay.
Okay, let me just check something.
It's called OA.
Yeah, and parts of it are not for the squeamish. So if you got well, not visually, but the concept behind what they're doing, it's like twisted. So if you got a weak constitution, make sure you have an out.
And ETTV has the downloads in my usual spot.
If you're watching and getting ideas for your TV show, get in touch.
Yeah.
We could talk.
Yeah. Dude, seriously.
I have something to say. It's Earl, by the way. Last week, when you, Lisa, posted that video of you talking about, what's going on.
Oh, the one that
January 2014.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
When I was watching that, it freaked me out a bit because I was watching you, but it wasn't you. Your voice was a bit lower, and it didn't feel like you. It was like, that's Lisa Harrison, but not Lisa M. Harrison.
That was in a very, very, that was post Christmas Day of 2013 when I had a very extraordinary experience, and I was still very much running on the energy of that, which I still don't know how to explain. So that's wild that you picked that up. Christmas Day 2013, I literally left my body for the day, the whole day. My physical body was walking around, pacing around actually, doing laps of the block in 3 feet of snow and just pacing, talking about the timelines are collapsing, the timelines are collapsing, the timelines are collapsing. My memories of the day probably amount to maybe half a dozen flashes, but my memories of where my consciousness was whipping through timelines and seeing them close out, and seeing myself in different places with different people in that moment. And then the post experience lasted for 3 months. And there was an energy that I was pumping. That I don't know, I can't explain. But yeah, all I'm saying is I can confirm the fact that yes, it wouldn't have quite felt exactly like me. So you wouldn't do anything.
I also have 2 more things that I've noticed.
Okay.
One was the Union Jack, where the lines where everything is supposed to be is out of whack. I even shared it with Dee, and
Sorry, what, the Union Jack?
The Union Jack, the British flag, and Earl sent me a picture and was
I'll
like,
be there in a bit.
And it doesn't look right.
Huh.
But I can't tell you what's wrong with it. That's what I kept looking at it going, I can't say what's wrong with it. All I can say is that it doesn't look right.
The Union Jack, the flag.
Yeah, let me see.
There's a lot of Australians with a Union Jack tattoo. I wonder if they've all changed too.
Tee-hee-hee.
And the other one was I was started watching the movie Short Circuit, and it felt different. The logo for the company. Oh, and the company in the movie had its name changed to. In the original, for me, it was Nova Robotics, but now it's Nova Laboratories, and they used for the logo of the company, the Da Vinci's, where it had the guy with the 4 legs and 4 arms. But the weird thing about it was, it felt new to me. Like, it felt like it just came out, even though it was made in 1986, which was I'm telling you, this thing is just getting weird, and it's
getting weird. What do you mean getting weird?
so I mean, I thought it was weird now. Oh, and another thing with the last Star Wars movie there, there was one of the characters, Paul Dameron. They had apparently the guy that was playing him switched out. Another guy was playing Paul Dameron. The guy had a British accent, and then the thing flipped back again to look like the same guy that was playing Paul Dameron. It's like, what the?
I saw that video. That was Bluebeard who put it together, but I only saw the video just recently. The movie, when it came out, was only, I didn't get to see it in a decent copy really until
I seen it in the theater, and I watched it like 2 or 3 times, and I can agree with what he said, because I've noticed it the last time I watched it that I thought I didn't pick up on it till he did that post. I like the guy, but I kind of find him a little like I'm subscribed to him, but it's like, dude just throws me off. Like,
okay, I'm gonna pull up a screenshot of the Union Jack. I want everyone to look at it. Because the same thing, I can't tell you what's wrong with it, but it looks wrong. So I don't know. We'll get the view of everyone. Okay.
See how the lines are, the red lines are not more or less. See how the white and red lines are not more or less centered to the corners of the cross. They should be. It's not symmetrical. That's the problem.
No, it's not symmetrical. And I've just gone through and scrolled through a whole pile of these and gone, no, wrong. But like I say, it's not like I can say, oh, the red line should extend to here or the white line should be there. It doesn't look right. So opinions, chat room, anyone? Maybe I'm just losing my marbles. I don't know, but
Everyone's saying it looks wrong.
the cross is predominant now. Okay, Violet, thank you, because that was the only thought I could come up with, was that it seemed like a very balanced before, and now it's like the cross is like right there, smack. And the lines are, the rays, if you will, are secondary.
But what does it mean?
It's just another fucking ridiculous, hello, it's not my reality. I don't know what the fuck that is. Maybe I should go look at the Canadian flag. Maybe it'll be like, I don't know.
That's what I was thinking the same thing. I'm like, what's next for the Canadian flag? It's going to be reversed. The maple leaf's going to be white and the other part's going to be red.
I don't know. I don't know.
You're welcome.
I don't know, man. All I know.
Okay, the American flag is odd as well. Something else I was going to bring up this week. And I'm sorry, but I woke up 20 minutes before the show started and time to make a coffee, and that was about it. So I do apologise. But there's been a few people who have asked.
Yeah, the chat room's going at its usual 1,000 miles an hour, so it's like I'm trying to keep up, and I don't know.
There is, as far as updates from Lulu and crew go, it's just confirmation that the process is in motion and cannot be stopped. The process for the end of this construct, whatever that looks like. It cannot be stopped. Now, there's been some odd experiences, not to be one to focus on the negative, right? But I would say some negative beings have been sent in a variety of ways and forms to completely mess with us. And each and every time it's been dealt with.
To say the least.
That's happening on a lot of levels and in a lot of places and in a lot of ways. They're bringing out the big guns, it seems. We are energetically, it's like they're not trusting anything to the minions anymore, if there are any minions left. It's like,
if there are any minions left, exactly. If they even have any of them left.
Yeah. I literally had evil walk in my front door and then walk right back out again. And it didn't know what it was walking into. And as far as this time looping stuff, it looks like the dragons, to some extent, were involved and patch things up and fix things up. And I know how crazy all this sounds. Trust me, I do. All I know is that at the end of 2012, with all the hype throughout 2012 and all the people that I spoke to and interviewed and asked, what's it going to look like? Nobody got it right. Now, for a lot of people, nothing happened in December of 2012. Or at least they thought so at the beginning of 2013. It's only now in hindsight that you can look back on the last few years and you can go, you know what, actually everything did change because of where I am now. Yeah, you know, you can see it, how it unfolded afterwards. For me, personally, I did see and feel and experience change at that time. And everything's just played out since then. Are we looking at something like that again? You know, where, okay, we've got this big energy wave coming in, we've got this amazing communication with whoever, I still don't really know. Is it going to be that in 6 months' time or in 12 months' time, we can just sort of look back and go, actually reality has shifted. We actually are in a different place. Is it going to be just subtle like that, the way it's been since, well, actually since post-2012, it doesn't feel all that subtle. Is it going to be that? Or is it going to be more of the event type situation that everyone's been predicting for a while now? There is a feeling, someone just wrote it, in this tying up loose ends business. There's a lot of people who have gone through, whether they've been conscious of it or not, of what they're doing, a process of tying up loose ends, saying their goodbyes. You know, when somebody passes away, you often, in retrospect, you see that they said or did things that were kind of a weird goodbye in a way. Like on some level, they knew they were going. Have you ever had that experience with someone after they've died? Like the last time you saw them, they gave you an extra big hug and said goodbye in a way that was more profound than just, yeah, okay, I'll see you later. Things like that. People even getting getting compelled to get all their papers in order, but not really sure why. What does that mean? I don't know. Getting to a place of, I want to say peace, but that's not really the word I'm looking for, but I don't know, it's almost like a 0 point within yourself or something, this place of, yeah, resolution, resolve. There's all these words that kind of fit but don't kind of fit about what I'm trying to explain, but
attachment dissolving. I like that. Can I show you what has been on my mind?
Yeah.
What I felt compelled to do? So, you know, it's been a while since I've actually picked up the pencils. I always used to draw, et cetera, et cetera. So I haven't done really in years. So this was, I don't know if you'll be able to see that.
Oh, nice.
So that was one of them, and that's the aula rock, which is right behind my house. I was compelled to put the guardian dragon, so to speak, on the aula. And then this guy popped up, and I actually wanted to try. I haven't finished this yet. This one is still one in motion because I haven't figured out the rest of the picture yet. And when I figure out the rest of the picture, there you go. If you can see that there.
Oh, I think I know the picture you kind of used as
I wanted to send that to Ryan. I wanted to somehow figure out a way to scan it and send it to Ryan, because Ryan and I had that big conversation like last month, right? And I was trying to explain what I was seeing. That's kind of who I was seeing right there. But I haven't figured out the rest of the picture. So hence the other side of the page is blank. And when I figure out what's the rest of the picture, I'll finish drawing it. I just haven't got there yet. So yeah, so I thought that was humorous, and it's been probably 15 years since I've drawn a dragon. I used to do them all the time, and I haven't done one in ages and ages. So
Nice work, Don.
This is Tina. Do you guys hear me?
Dawn, is that you?
No, it's Tina.
Oh, hi,
Oh, Gina. Hi, Gina.
Hi. I just wanted to add something to that. This seemed like the right place to do it. Drag. Our experience at Goddess Grove this week. Well, it was early weekend. I went up Thursday and was there Thursday night through Saturday, and very much in the presence of dragons. And dragons are very. I mean, you can't mistake connecting with them up there. And I put a picture out of Stephen Hex's husband and Mason, their son, and the fire and the dragon to them. And if you knew how the fire circle was and how the smoke was moving, that image of the dragon next to them was not a part of how that smoke was moving at all. It was separate from it. And I was like, I took probably 20 pictures of them at that time because I felt compelled to. But I also felt that night around the fire pit, something else watching us, checking from about 20 yards away in the forest, and I could see it pop out, and there was more than one, and it was like the energy was they were checking to see what we were up to and how things were, and every time I would try to lift my camera up, they would pop back. So I was never able to get any picture of it, but it was just very interesting because when I left and came home, I have dreamt about dragons and have actually, I feel like I left with my dragons. My dragons came home with me. And so, yes, they are very prevalent right now. And the time that we spent up there was like a place out of time. It went so fast, but yet, I mean, it was just a very bizarre thing in terms of time. It was like you turn around and you know, you just lay down and then it's time to go. You know, it's the next day and it's time to go. And it was just, we knew there was something really strange happening with time while we were up there. But it was a beautiful experience, and definitely will be going back. But I think it's very interesting how much dragons are coming up lately, how much work they're doing, how much work was done to release those that were being held captive. And since then, the amount of work that's been done to, by the dragons to kind of clean things up. And it's ongoing, and I think my feeling is that it's going to continue because they are a part of this, where we are now, that they are much more active and closer to us than we've ever been able to get to them before, unless you are one or have a direct connection to one. So, yeah, I just wanted to add that. It just seemed like the right time to do it.
Thank you, love.
That's it. Okay.
I can't say I saw that one coming. This dragon meme activity.
No, you didn't see that coming.
Which is kind of what was the point I was trying to get to before, in terms of I got to a point where I felt that, however this plays out, it's not going to be like anything any of us have envisioned. No one got 2012 right, and no one saw the stuff that we're experiencing right now coming. No one saw the Mandela effect, as far as I know. No one saw. I mean, no, who could see Trump?
No one. This is the thing: is exactly. And you and I keep talking about this kind of shit, and we keep saying the fact of like, in early 2013, and when we sat and this show fucking started, if we could have come, like, jumped back in time, you and I randomly appear on the show, like back in, like, say, middle of January 2000, or even if you say like February, March, and say, oh, let me give you a little insight about what you're going to experience over the next 3 years. We wouldn't even believe ourselves. Like, we would not believe ourselves. You and I'd be sitting there going, yeah, right. This is a practical joke. Yeah, you're trying to make us look like idiots.
Yeah.
Moksha just said you would have scared yourselves. Let me give you a little. We had a conversation earlier this week, and it was between just Lisa, Donna, and Claire. And Claire was asking Lisa and I a couple of pointed questions about things that had happened over the last couple of years, because something was coming up for her, and she was trying to clarify specific points. So Lisa and I started typing in connections, i.e., she was asking about a specific person. We're not going to give names. She was asking about a specific person and how the connections were initially made and where those connections led to. And I think for the first time ever, Lisa and I sat down and kind of took, since the 2013, 14, 15, and 16, and drew it out like, okay, well, there's this person, and we met this person here, and then this person came here, and then this person, well, then that person did this, and then this, and then this person, and this person, this, and then this, and then this is what happened after that, and we.
Well, maybe we should.
And I've never looked
names.
at it that way.
No, but I mean, maybe we should actually lay it out and name names.
Oh.
They're all attacking us anyway.
I know, but when you start, I mean, it was literally both Clara and Donna, by the end of it, were like,
I can believe
how are you
survived.
alive? How are you two still alive? Seriously. And it's one of those things, same thing, like if you could go back in time and in 2013 or 2012, say to yourself, okay, so this is what's going to happen, and this is how it's going to play out. You'd be like, you're fucking insane. I need to slip my wrist right then and there and be like, I'm just not even doing this. No, not doing this.
Paint the picture, who's who in the zoo. Well, yeah, I mean, what was interesting is
the interconnectedness.
The interconnectedness of all of these people.
Like
they're all public. Or have been public. You know, this one knows this one, and this one was involved with that organisation, which was then involved with, had touch base with this person. I mean, and they've all come into our lives.
Yeah.
They've all tried to pull us into something to some degree. And I mean, people have tried to recruit you into all kinds of shit. And
out of the woodwork, the people who've tried to recruit me into shit has been just wild. And same thing, but you don't, because each incident you look as an individual incident. It's not until you start going, okay, well, this, and this happened, and then this person appeared and tried to pull me into this. And then this, and this happened, and then this person appeared and tried to pull me into this. And then this looked back over here where this person came back again and tried to, so yeah, it was. There's a very good reason why I don't get involved in the intel world anymore.
Yes, I do remember the Laugh Fest in Morocco. That goes one of the funniest nights of my life, actually.
Right up there for me, too.
Broadcast on Blog Talk. Yeah. But what that conversation brought out for us was that there is a relatively small connected network who are expressing themselves and putting themselves into all of these different acronymed organisations that are all connected
through people.
Through people, and they've got a foot in all these little camps.
A finger in each pie?
Yeah, from alternative media to
the arcane and the spiritual,
New Age, the new paradigm, project living stuff, and the individuals that have been the front people for these things are all connected, and from what I can see, a lot of them are kind of exposing themselves. I know this is all very cryptic because we're not naming names, but a lot of you could probably connect the dots if you've been with us long enough.
And anyone who's been following us along for the last few years kind of knows the adventures down the Alice's Wonderland.
And I think the reason that we are attacked the way we are so publicly is essentially because I think the agenda is pull you in and try and control you. When they can't control you, it's destroy you.
Destroy you, discredit you.
Discredit you, destroy you. So, and we've put a foot or two at times into some of these things to check them out, and then when you go, okay, pulling back now.
No. Hey, these guys are cool. That's what. No. Actually, no. Let's just back away slowly, smile, and just back away.
But anyway, no one could have told me the way the next 4 years were going to play out back in 2012. Wouldn't have believed it. No one can tell me what's going on now and how this would look. Even though we've known that it was going to change, we felt that the time was coming, and even prior to connection with Lulu or whatever, we were saying we're close, we're so close. This thing is all going to come crumbling down. But we still don't know what that looks like. Even Lulu and crew don't know what it's going to look like because apparently this has never happened before. And the things that are happening that are in motion in order to make it happen have never happened before. And also, therefore, I guess, the counter maneuvers have never happened before either. But this sense that everyone seems to have is that we're done. And I don't mean in that, there's nothing to do, la la, New Age crap sense of it's done, but in the sense of we have reached that point of no return. And this is just going to play out, and we still don't know. We have a sense. We've got people who are experiencing things and kind of coming online in a way that is just extraordinary right now. Even people who, whether you want to call them asleep or whatever, who are freaking out because they're seeing stuff and have absolutely no context for it. A lot of you guys have got friends who you would call your sleepy relatives or friends who are losing their shit because they just did an hour and 45-minute trip in 15 minutes and they don't know how that happened or why that happened, and and what it does feel like, even though I can't explain it or even show any evidence of it, this is purely what it feels like, is that analogy that Claire came up with the train tracks feels right, is that there are consistent attempts to fracture timelines or take it off in another direction or do something, and we're all kind of disjointedly being pulled into them, and then it comes back.
Yeah.
To the original.
It's still all arriving on the same platform.
Yeah. And we're just doing this. We're doing this. And we're meeting up again. Because Thursday, for example, Thursday for me might drag on and feel like 3 days. And for another person, they do it twice. And for someone else, it just flew by in a couple of hours. And yet we meet up again on Friday,
Yeah.
you know, and fall back into sync. So it might just be more of that. It might get more ridiculous and outrageous. It might settle down. Who knows? Maybe we wake up one morning and, you know, the world just looks completely different. We just got to ride it and know that we're not nuts. Unless we are all, in fact, collectively having the same psychotic episode.
Yeah, we're all having the same psychotic breakdown, which makes me feel better that we're at least having company.
At least you're not alone.
I'm not going alone. I'm taking everyone with
Is
me.
it a collective? Is it a collective dream? Is it a collective program? Has someone developed the technology to mess with the collective consciousness and program some shit in there? Maybe. But the point is, we're sharing this collective experience, whatever it is. So I guess we'll all still be together at the other end, whatever that is.
Well, here's something else I want to point out. I want to ask everyone, okay? Because I had this conversation with a couple people today and yesterday and the day before that. So it's the silly season, right? We are, what, 6 days before Christmas? Something ridiculous like that. And I've had multiple people saying it, that there's no festive feeling. Like even in their totally asleep friends, etc., there's no happy Christmas. There's no, oh, it's all the, even people who say, I had someone message me and saying, my mother's insane. Like she starts decorating the house in fucking November. Even she's kind of like, yeah, okay, I guess I'll put up the Christmas tree. You know, it's, people are not into it. Not into it. It's like it's completely empty. I mean, you talk about transparency. This is transparency as far as I'm concerned when you talk about the cold Christmas season. Yeah, people are on autopilot. I had to go out today. I had to go into town. People were driving like fucking maniacs today. I mean, insane. Like people parking their car in the middle of the street. Like literally like 1.5 meters out from the curb and just dropping their car and leaving it there. There were people making turns down the wrong way of one-way streets. It was my girlfriend always wished was like, it's worse than Mario Karts today. Like seriously, this is like Mario Karts on acid.
Nicole's saying she works in retail and for 8 hours every day, it's all she's heard. Is that it's just an inconvenience. People are just going through the motions.
Yeah. Exactly. They're going through the motions. It is completely an inconvenience for them. Like, I don't even want to do this. I have to do a turkey dinner. Oh, okay, fine. And even me, I love the big Christmas dinner type thing. You know what I mean? Like the one time when I lived in Canada, you could get turkeys cheap, you could get hams cheap, and I'd buy a whole bunch of them, and then they'd all go into the freezer, and I'd make a massive amount of food, and you had 8 leftovers for 5 days afterwards. I'm like going, oh, do we have to? Okay, I guess we'll all, us and those friends, and maybe we've got other friends of ours. Okay, I'll have to invite them over. They're here all by themselves. They've got no family here. Okay, I'm going to invite them over. I'll make a big dinner, and okay, fine. I mean, I spent Sunday making chocolates, which is one of my favorite things to do. I love making chocolates. I am a chocoholic anyways, but I love making chocolates. And it was a task. It was like I might as well have been washing dishes. Or
so the Pope and the Queen last year said that last year's Christmas would be our last. We had, now whether you look into her stuff or not, Yellow Rose for Texas came out and said, I don't think there'll be a Christmas this year. For me, the 21st, which is tomorrow, has been popping up a lot.
For the rest of us. 2 days for the rest of us. Sorry.
But I mean, who knows when any of this. Well, I don't know on the other side of it whether it had any real significance.
Yep.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be watching, especially from the 21st onward. Like I said last week, that whole thing, my running theory, this will be the 3rd year in a row where I'm going to be really watching, because there's always something really, really weird about that week between Christmas and New Year's, well, between the 21st and that January 1st to January 3rd. And yeah, I'm going to be watching real close.
Yeah, see,
Now,
this dizzies, the people experiencing the dizzies, like I did on Saturday, whatever it was. I mean, we can't all have a middle ear infection. Or, you know, low blood pressure, or because it's not. I mean, I've had low blood pressure. I've had a middle ear infection. It doesn't feel like that.
No.
And it's the way it comes in waves. I mean, Saturday was incredibly intense, and it did feel like I was literally being pulled into 2 dimensions. That's how it felt. Very bizarre. But it's being experienced by so many people. We've also got, I think that we talked about last week, the Earth vibrating. We talk about that hasn't stopped.
Nope. It's still on. Well, I mean, it's not to that one section of graphs that we showed. It hasn't been to that extreme, but it's still happening. Okay, yeah, and mass migraines. I have had a headache for 6 days straight. Now, I do pressure point work, and I can usually move my headaches, and I rarely do I have to resort to taking an ibuprofen or a Panadol or something. Very, very rarely. And a couple of days this week, I had to finally say, I can't. It's just not, because I could move it, I could work it, get it, and it would go away, and then it would just appear again in another part of my head a half an hour later.
Yeah, the chest, the infections, like flu-like symptoms, but you're not really sick.
But you're not really sick?
But then they come and go.
Yep.
The mucus thing, the migraines. I'm not doing the migraines, but I know a lot of people are.
And body pains, again, everyone's talking again. It's been like another week of like intense, it's your hips, or it's your shoulders, or it's your neck. And that to me is also like a toothache and jaw pain. I had that again. And I was like, where is that coming from? I was just like, I do not consent. You can just fuck off and go away. And it did. So.
Sorry, I just got interrupted. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, and this is the whole thing, right? Like, so I mean, there's what's causes all these. So they talk about there's EMFs, and they talk about HARP, and they talk about CERN. They talk about magnetic shifts, so magnetic pole shifting. Now, I talked about that last week again, a little bit more. And of course, you get the whole like ascension symptoms, which, yeah, whatever, Morgellon symptoms, name the gamut. And all I can say is when I look at a lot of this stuff is certain things just don't fit. Certain things are just like, there's no, when you have one person or a whole group of people in an area, like everyone's all of a sudden got a neck ache or a shoulder ache. You know, it's like a headache, and I could say, okay, it could be EMF waves, right? It could be a geomagnetic storm on, which we haven't had in 6 days. The geomagnetics have been like flatline. So that type of stuff. But how would that affect your shoulder? And when all of a sudden you have like, I don't know, 50 people saying, my shoulder hurts so bad, I can't even do this. That doesn't make sense.
But the opposite is also happening. I just remember.
Right?
The opposite's is also happening. People who have had chronic conditions, they're suddenly gone.
Yep.
I know someone who had lost their sense of smell completely in the 90s or the early 2000s, and the other day it just came back on. Chronic conditions. What else? And the thing with the migraines is like people who've experienced migraines for years now haven't had any for a couple of weeks or months for no apparent reason. And then there's the other thing where I never used to get migraines and now I'm getting them. Or what they would say, you know, when you go through like a healing crisis where your old stuff comes up and out again to be cleared and healed, going through that. So it feels like it's actually release and healing, and I think that's what the mucus stuff is too, that everyone's purging.
Getting it out of your system, right? Getting it out of your system. And this is the one thing, and I said this last year as well, when there seems to come in like the waves. Touch wood. Every year for 5 years. Last year, I figured it out last year, our whole family got sick. Second week of January, and I turned to Nick and was like, okay, wait, what the fuck is this? Every year for 5 years. For 5 years, I went back and kind of went thinking back for over 5 years. The second week of January, everyone gets fucking sick in our whole family. And friends too. Like and it didn't matter when I was in Canada, or it was in Morocco, or it was when I was in Malta. It's that second week of January. And that was one of the other things that brings me up of what is that shift that we have, that weird time frame between the 21st of December to January 1st, where it's like the time outside of time. And then all of a sudden, it's like everyone goes into purge. And it's like there's a mass, and it always, from my family, I swear to God, it's almost like a timetable that you can go in and go January, second week of January, purge. And it's like, you're coughing up massive phlegm, but it never sick. You're never sick. Like there's no fever. You don't have bronchitis. You're not, it's just like all of a sudden purging, like, you know, the sinuses, the coughing, all of the rest of it.
Well, there's a lot of places apparently getting heavy chemtrail spraying as well.
Some of the pictures that were posted in the UU room this weekend of the chemtrails were unlike anything I've ever fucking seen before. Like, I was showing pictures and I was sitting there going, okay, how can anyone look at the sky and think this is normal? Like, in any way, shape, or form. It's like, this ain't fucking normal. Like, literally hat crisscrossing all over the sky. And it didn't matter whether it was England or it was the States or it was Australia. There was pictures were all over the place. And like I said, we've had literally ongoing storm for 6 days. And the thickest cloud cover, like, I haven't seen the sky. I haven't seen the moon. I haven't seen the sun, other than a couple of glimpses today.
Oh, I was going to try and show you a video, but I can't get YouTube to do its thing. It's interesting. The stuff that I'm seeing in the sky, the videos, photographs that people are posting of what's going on in the skies.
The double sun pictures, the double weird, and the moon dogs now. It's not even sun dogs. Now there's fucking moon dogs. I'm like, no.
This one's interesting. This person believes, and I haven't looked at it all yet. There is a 5-part video series. This person believes that there are 3 additional suns. They've been tracking since 2004 that have come in.
2004, eh?
Mm-hmm. And they're on an orbit. So they think that this thing is actually a reflected aura, not an object in itself, like a reflected aura off the lens. And that it's actually a reflection of this thing. Right, but there's footage here. Let's see. Both of these
Yeah.
are doing a dance. They're in a binary dance, and there's a third one. Jesus, where is it? There's some good footage. Of the move, is it moving? Yeah, this these two doing a little dance. Now, there's links if you're interested. The channel is called Debbie Blue. It's got the series, House of the Rising Suns.
Okay.
I'm going to go and watch it.
Well, just remember to send me that link so we can make sure we put it in the the recording with the recording so we have it. And it is exactly 2 hours.
Oh, okay. Bye.
You're evil. You know that, right?
But yeah, I mean, what there's the selfie cameras are picking up.
It's not normal. It's not fucking normal.
No.
I've been studying those Sechi images for fucking years. I've looked at probably hundreds of hours of footage in the various solar studies that I've been doing and the various research I've done over the last 7-8 years. The shit that we're seeing now, never been seen before. Sorry. But, you know, people are like, oh, lens flares. I'm like, yeah, really? So what? They've just, I don't know, randomly started getting lens flares just in the last couple of months.
Now, someone left a comment somewhere, YouTube maybe, about why we even, knowing what we know about NASA and all of that, and why do we even make reference to any of it? Because they're telling us stuff.
Because they do too. Hey, listen, I keep saying it. Again, someone posted on Fuckers Day a video of Russell Brand, and everyone kind of went, oh, no, he's just blah, blah, blah. He's just a bullshitter, blah, 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 blah. He's just like, you know, a puppet and all the rest of it. And I'm like, but again, even the disinformationists bring you information. Because if they don't give you facts and if they don't catch you, pull you in with some truth, you're not them. So even these guys, you may know that like they're just another one of the fucking puppets or another one of those distractions. They still bring you information. Now the whole thing about NASA, they're still putting shit out. There's information coming out. So yeah, they're fucking lying astards, but doesn't mean that they're not giving us some information. And you got to look at all the information. You can't just ignore it and just say, oh, well, that's NASA, so I'm just not going to look at it. It's like me saying, oh, that's just CERN, and I'm just not going to look at it. Or that's just, you know, mainstream media news. I'm just not going to look at it. But, you know, there are pieces in there. Pieces.
Especially when you're looking at the stuff like that, and they just won't address it.
And they ignore it.
They just...
Or the footage just randomly disappears. That's my favorite. Oh, I'm sorry, these cameras are down right now. Oh, huh, right, sure.
Next week, we will take the week off, I think, because it's that week. Unless something else.
Unless, let's just leave it open. Let's just leave it open, because if this week gets as crazy as I think it might, we'll just leave it open. We'll
it'll be. I'll put it. If we are going to do something, it'll be on the calendar on my website and on hers.
And it'll be posted in the Unfuckers, and it'll be posted. You know, so we will. Yeah.
We'll just go with the flow. Exactly. So keep us posted on your crazy experiences, because because you're having them anyway. So let's just share them.
Might as well share them with all the other crazy people.
Have a nice day on the 25th of December, regardless of what you do and who you spend it with. Try and just, I'm not even going to say the typical terms.
Try to keep yourself sane in the silly season.
Mm-hmm. Just have a nice day.
Yeah.
Do your best. And we'll see.
If you can't just pretend and hide in your room. Blanket forts are perfectly acceptable for adults. So is coloring. Build a blanket fort. However you have to, get inside it and just stay there all day. If that's what you feel like doing.
Exactly. All right. Bye for now, everyone.
Bye, guys.